let's talk now about what we call the stuff. And I think the importance of the stuff is tremendous. Now, most companies, when they think of marketing, they think of the stuff. So share with us the stuff part.
Well, traditionally, the stuff has been very boring stuff. Maybe business cards, flyers, things that companies think they need to put together to shout their message out at people. Of course, you need a little bit of the stuff. You need a business card so that when you're talking to someone, you can very quickly offer them your contact information. Occasionally, we need flyers, but a flyer's purpose is really only to bookmark a thought until somebody does something with it. So maybe they'll take it back to the office, put something in their calendar if it's about an event coming up. Maybe they take it and it's a new product that they need to look into. So those are a couple examples of the boring stuff. I think here at Legendary Escapes and with Ask the Pool Guy brand, we actually have created really fun and cool stuff. And I know that our stuff is working for us because we get requests. People just want the stuff that we put together.
Well, I think there's two parts to that. The traditional stuff, that could also be direct marketing pieces and things that, that go out into the world and they're a call to action and it's a flash and they're gone. May get stuck, a magnet may get put on the refrigerator, but it's typically gone. However, it still has our energy signature to it. We're still going to have that same cohesive branding throughout so that we make sure that people remember us and it's another touch. But the cool stuff, the fun stuff, the things that we give away at will, just about, T-shirts and sweatshirts and coffee mugs and flashlights and, that's all most people would call it the tchotchke pens and things. We don't have to get a response from the person we give it to. I think this is the biggest mistake that everybody makes, is that, oh, I give this person a pen and they call me. I want to remind everybody it's in the act of giving. So if you've taken the time to give, it'll come back somewhere. And hasn't that proven to us? We were at we had a booth at a show recently, and an older woman walked in and she pretty much cleaned us out. She took one of everything we had and had her husband sneak back and grab some stuff because we had all this really fun stuff. Now, we could be angry because they're not our demographic, they're never going to buy from us and all of that. And all we have to do is remind ourselves that it's in the act of giving. Do you ever expect to get back only from the person that you give to? Not at all. Because chances are you'll never get back from them, and that's okay. But you'll get back somewhere. So having the cool and fun things that are thought through and investing in people, it comes back eventually from somewhere. And it's not about putting your name just so they can see it. Instead, it's in the act of giving you realize that you're going to get. And that's always worked for us. And that's why we do put a substantial amount of effort into having cool stuff to give away. Because it's practical, functional, usable, but cool stuff. But we're not looking for that person to call us back just to get. But it kind of universally, cosmically puts it out in the universe that we're cool enough, and someone finds us and calls us as a result of that act of giving.
What we found too with this stuff is we're very strategic about the stuff, and it's good quality. We don't just go through the tchotchke catalogs to pick things to put our name on.
The cheapest thing we can do.
We really, really think through investing in high quality things. From our books that we hand out, we don't just hand out flyers or things like that. They're very, very well done. And they do carry a higher price tag. But the energy signature of what we want our brand to stand for supports the fact that our brand has quality stuff behind it. So everything that we do is well thought out that way.
Which leads to that point of what you give. Say you go on a pool appointment and you're there to sell a swimming pool. Well, we know that we have a process because we've gone through this. We've got a process of if they make it past the gatekeeper and they're even in the realm of what we're doing, and then the next step is they make it to an appointment, then there's a good chance that we're going to be willing to invest in them. Now, if you are just blanketing going out to do 500 appointments to try to sell 50 swimming pools, this wouldn't make sense. But if we know that you made it and all of those criteria are working out because we've identified who we want, and that you may not be that and you'll call and you don't get past the gatekeeper, not because you're not cool and don't want a pool, but because we're not the company for you to build you that pool, we don't have to invest. But if you get through that and I get there and it feels right and we're talking the right things, my investment to you is one of those books. And that's a $40, $50 investment. You haven't given me a thing yet, but I'm giving that to you because you're worth it. And that investment, whether you buy from me or not, doesn't even matter. To me, that's just secondary. What I want to do is I want you to tease and look through that, and you might call me back 3 years later. You may pass it on, you may not. But I'm investing in you before you invest in me. That's another big shift that happened with us. Now, granted, if you're going on 500 appointments to try to sell 50 pools, you know, it'd be a pretty expensive thing to do to invest $50 in each person. But you could do something like that. You could scale that way down and have just that thing. Instead of it being just a brochure from a company, you know, we sell vinyl liner pools. Here's the brochure from that company makes. You can do that, but if you take the time, and this is where energy signature beats all of that. You can't take a brochure from one manufacturer, slap your label on the back of it, and go, "That's my energy signature." I mean, you could, but is that who you are?
A lot of people do that.
A lot of people do that, and that's what they're left with. This idea of, okay, now I got 14 brochures to go through. Who do I pick?
Everything looks the same.
Everything looks the same. Instead of what I would do, if I was the guy that was trying to get 50 pools a year and I needed to do 100 appointments or 500, I would do maybe a scaled down version of what we have. And instead, maybe it's $5 a book. Get it down to the basics where it's just got the right information, but it looks the same the right way. It's got our pictures and our logos. It's got our stuff on it. And it's not a major investment for me, but I could now have 500 of those produced at a fairly reasonable cost, and I'd invest that in every customer. Versus, you know, if we're doing $30,000 swimming pools, sure, that makes a lot of sense. If you're going to do a $150,000 pool, then maybe you can invest a little bit more. But I think it makes it personal. Instead of dropping a bunch of brochures on someone's, no one wants brochures anyway because they can find that all online. And anybody that's going to buy a pool probably isn't going to watch a brochure, look at a brochure. They're going to Google it online, whatever they want to know. So why even give them that option, but give them something cool that they can't get online, this little book, this whatever.
So your stuff should carry your energy signature. It should be something
Absolutely.
that differentiates you from other people. They should be able to look at your stuff and someone else's stuff and definitely know that your stuff belongs to you and take the time to make some of those things. You know, maybe you're the person who shows up with a coffee mug every time, or maybe you're the person who has a big cutout poster of yourself that you bring to pool shows, and as people are walking past, they say, "Oh, I follow you on Facebook, I've seen you online." Whatever that thing is that helps to create that memory hook for people is what your stuff should really help to support.
And you're right, it doesn't have to be a book, it could be anything. It could be a puzzle. You know, we've done puzzles of some of the pools we've done and sent them to the customer, but that could easily be your leave behind. You know, invest $8 in a puzzle of one of your pools that's for a potential customer. So when you leave, they could sit down and make the puzzle that has your name on it. There's a lot of different ways of doing this, and there's online. It's so easy to find stuff that there's an endless amount of creative ways of doing it. But it all needs to follow and carry your energy signature because it's about you and how you interact with them.